So as I record this video, it's May 11th. Most of us are all still here. We're still fine. We're still sheltering in place. But what's happened to the housing market? Has the value of your home gone down? Has it gone up? Has everything crashed? I'm Justin Miller with the Chong Miller Group, and this is the May 2020 residential real estate market update for the Las Vegas Valley. So I have some very interesting news to share. The first thing I want to share is this past weekend, Saturday, 2 days ago, the governor of Nevada has allowed certain non-essential businesses to start reopening. And so I am one of the first who managed to go and get a haircut, which I desperately needed, especially if you compare this video with ones over the past 2 months, you'll see that I needed that haircut. So anyhow, we've got the haircut out of the way. You all can go get haircuts as well now. I had not cheated on that whatsoever. But anyhow, haircuts are available. Some restaurants are starting to open up. Restaurants that are opening, barbershops that are opening, other businesses that are opening are doing so in a staged manner. There are still restrictions in place as to how many people can be allowed in to any particular business at any particular time. Be nice out there, be calm out there. Things will slowly start to get back to some level of normality. All right, so let's dive into the May numbers. I'm going to start with closed transactions. So in April of 2020, single family residential resale here in the Las Vegas Valley, there were 1,849 closed transactions. That means final sale took place. New owner for 1,849 properties, residential resale, single-family homes in the Las Vegas Valley. Now, for those of you who've been contemplating that the world may end, this number is non-zero. For those of you who thought there'd be no impact, this number is not as good as it had been in the prior month. In fact, we were down 2.9% from the 2,600 transactions that took place in March. Now remember, March was impacted by the shut-in orders for about 10 days. April was impacted for 100% of the month. And so we were down from March. Now, interestingly, we were down 3.2% from April of 2019. Now that's significant because April is the start of the spring home buying season. And so typically in April, we see significant increases in numbers of transactions. So clearly April 2020 was significantly impacted by the coronavirus, by the COVID-19, and by the shut-in orders. But interestingly, that 1,849 is actually more transactions than took place in January or February of 2019. It is more transactions than took place in November of 2015 and January of 2016. There was no coronavirus at that time. Now, these numbers are not amazingly high, absolutely. Number of transactions was depressed from what we would otherwise have been expecting to see. Nowhere near the depressed levels of what we had seen during the financial crisis. So the low point was actually in December of 2007 with 772 transactions. We were at 1,849. So what about price? Were people just giving away their properties to get these transactions? No, not at all. So the April price, the median sales price for single family resale in the Valley was $305,600. Now, this is down from February and March. From March, it's down by 3%. Right? Remember, the March number was $315,000. So we're down about $9,400 from March, less than $10,000 difference, 3%. We're actually up from April of 2019 by 2.2%. April of 2019, the median sales price was $299. So prices look actually quite stable occurring. Now let me give you a little more insight into that price. In April of 2020, the average price per square foot for houses that got sold was $172. All right, so your house has a particular size, or the house that you want to buy has a particular size. And if we were to divide the sales price by the number of square feet in a property, we would get price per foot. And that number, April 2020, is $172. So for comparison purposes, that number is actually the highest it's been since August of 2017. So if we look at the data that way, we're not seeing prices come down at all. Rather, it's likely there were simply fewer transactions above median, since the median is definitionally the price at which half of transactions are higher and half of transactions are lower. If we eliminate some of the upper part of the market, that pushes that halfway bar down lower. So the actual price per foot of actually sold properties in April was higher, was the highest it's been since August of 2017. And if our comparison is to a stressed level, in January of 2007, the average price per foot was $65. So we're 3 times that. We're not showing this level of stress in the marketplace. We're showing decreased transactions, as we would definitely expect when people are locked in their homes and can't get out, when open houses have been halted by order of the governor. We would expect to see some decrease in the number of activities, and that's what we saw. We've not seen a price impact on that. Well, what about inventory? Let's take a look at those numbers. At the end of April 2020, we had 6,381 residential resale properties for sale in the Valley. Now, that's down. It's down 5% from the 6,599 that we had at the end of March. It's down a whopping 35% from the 9,059 that we had at the end of April 2019. Inventory is really tight. Now, interestingly, this inventory number, 6,381, there's only been 8 months in early 2018 where we had less inventory in the market than we've got right now, unless you go all the way back to 2008. Inventory is really tight. How does this look in terms of months of supply? Well, in April, we ended the month with 2.5 months worth of supply. That's down 4% from the 2.6 months that we ended March with. It's down 32% from the 3.7 that we ended April of last year. We have very tight inventory right now in the Las Vegas Valley, 2.5 months. That's with the lower sales figures that we're seeing, the lower number of transactions. We still only have 2.5 months worth of inventory. If buyers start coming back into the market, we're going to start seeing those numbers of transactions increasing, which is going to dramatically and quickly impact inventory in terms of months supply to lower that number. Inventory will become tighter and tighter. Now, will sellers come back into the market? We know, because inventory is tight, that a lot of sellers are holding back. They've decided not to put their house on the market right now. We know over the past few months there's been properties withdrawn from the market. We'll see sellers come back. We'll see more people put their houses into the market for sale, which is excellent news, because we need those houses, because buyers are looking to buy. We need sellers who are trying to sell their homes. Again, prices are not going down. I think what we're going to actually see is sellers and buyers coming back into the market at approximately equal levels. I think inventory is going to continue to remain very tight. I think that pricing pressures will start to escalate as we get through the next several months. I think transactions will increase because more buyers are showing up and more sellers are showing up. Now, I do want to point out one other number, and that's the number of back on market. That number in April was 1193. That 1193 means that of properties that went into contract, approximately 1/3 did not close. They dropped out of contract for some particular reason. And about 2/3 did close. So we see some stress in the market in that particular regard, although interestingly, this number is down from April 2019 in terms of back on market, in terms of contracts that collapsed, that did not close. So that implies a lessening of stress from what we actually saw last year at this particular time of year. Now, last year, interest rates were a little bit higher. This year, interest rates are a little bit lower, and we've seen banks tightening credit lending standards. So it's quite possible that what we're seeing is actually residuals of these tighter lending standards from coming up in March, where some contracts were failing earlier in the process than we might have expected, and in April, we're not seeing that same level of failure rate. The important thing to remember here is buyers and sellers did not completely abandon the market. Transactions definitely were taking place. We had 1,849 transactions close in April. So I am Justin Miller with the Chong Miller Group. We help people buy and sell homes. If you're interested in thinking about whether or not you should sell your property, or thinking about whether or not this is a good time for you to buy, give us a call, send us an email. We'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. We'd be happy to go out and get a coffee or hot chocolate, or with nice weather, and iced tea, and talk to you about how you can interact with this particular market. We'd love to help you through your real estate adventures and become your trusted real estate advisors. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.